Welcome, my friends. It's Mrs. B. I hope you're having a great day. Today's very exciting. We are going to learn to tell time to the hour. Here we go. In our world, we use two different types of clocks to tell time. We use an analog clock and a digital clock. Let's explore each kind together. In an analog clock, the first thing we need to do when we're telling time to the hour is find the hour hand. The hour hand is the short hand. The next thing we need to do is find the minute hand. The minute hand is the long hand. Next, we need to tell the hour. My hour hand is pointing at 8. So I know our hour is 8. Next, I need to tell our minutes. Our minute hand is pointing straight up at 00 minutes. When our minute hand is pointing straight up at 00 minutes, we have a fancy word that we like to use. This fancy word is o'clock. When I read this analog clock, it tells me the time is 8 o'clock. Great job. Let's look at a digital clock. A digital clock is a little bit simpler to use, but we follow the same steps. First, we need to find our hour. Our hour is the first number before the colon. Next, we need to find our minutes. Our minutes are the numbers after the colon. Next, we need to tell our hour. Our hour is 8. Last, we need to tell our minutes. There's our 00 minutes. Do you remember that fancy word we like to use? It's called o'clock. When I read this digital clock, it also tells me it is 8 o'clock. Awesome! Let's read some analog and digital clocks together. Here we have an analog clock. What time is it? First, find your hour hand. Next, find your minute hand. Then, tell your hour and tell your minutes. I know my hour hand is pointing at the 3. I also know my minute hand is pointing straight up at 00 minutes. This analog clock tells me the time is 3 o'clock. Great job. Let's try another. What time does this analog clock say? Find your hour hand. Find your minute hand. Tell your hour. Tell your minutes. My hour is pointing at the 2. My minutes are pointing straight up at 00. So I know this clock is telling me the time is 2 o'clock. Amazing! Let's try another. What time does this digital clock say? I know my hour is 6. I know my minutes are 00. This digital clock tells me the time is 6 o'clock. You've got the hang of this. What time does it say on this analog clock? This one's quite tricky since both hands are pointing straight up. Follow your steps. Find your hour hand Find your minute hand. Tell your hour. Tell your minutes. I know my hour is pointing at 12. I also know my minutes is pointing straight up at 00. This analog clock tells me the time is 12 o'clock. Did I trick you? Let's try another. What time is it on this digital clock? If you said the time is 4 o'clock, awesome, you were correct. Let's try the last one. Try this one on your own. If you said the time is 10 o'clock, awesome, you were correct. Great job telling time, my friends. Join us back next time. Bye.